Ashtavakra Gita, Chapter 17. The True Knower. Ashtavakra said, "One has attained knowledge and reaped the fruits of yoga who is content, purified of attachments, and at home in solitude. The knower of truth is never miserable in the world, for the whole universe is filled with himself alone. As the foliage of the neem tree does not please an elephant who delights in sallaki leaves, so do sense objects not please he who delights in self. Rare in the world is one who does not relish past enjoyments, nor yearns for enjoyments to come. Those who desire pleasure and those who desire liberation are both common in the world. Rare is the great soul who desires neither enjoyment nor liberation. Rare is the right-minded person who neither covets nor shuns religion, wealth, pleasure, life, or death. The man of knowledge neither cares for the universe nor desires its dissolution. He lives happily on whatever comes his way. He is blessed. Knowing self, mind empty and at peace, the sage lives happily, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating. There is no attachment or non-attachment for one in whom the ocean of the world has dried up. His look is vacant, senses still. His actions have no purpose. The sage is neither asleep nor awake. He neither closes nor opens his eyes. Thus, for the liberated soul, everywhere there is only this. The liberated soul abides in self alone and is pure of heart. He lives always and everywhere free of desire. Seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, taking, speaking, walking, the great soul exerts neither effort nor non-effort. He is truly free. The liberated soul does not blame or praise, give or take, rejoice or become angry. He is everywhere unattached and free. The great soul remains poised and undisturbed, whether in the presence of a passionate woman or observing the approach of his death. He is truly free. The sage sees no difference between happiness and misery, man and woman, adversity and success. Everything is seen to be the same. In the sage there is neither violence nor mercy, arrogance nor humility, anxiety nor wonder. His worldly life is exhausted. He has transcended his role as a person. The liberated one neither avoids experience nor craves it. He enjoys what comes and what does not. The sage is not conflicted by states of stillness and thought. His mind is empty. His home is the Absolute. Though he may perform actions, the man of knowledge does not act. Desires extinguished, free of thoughts of I and mine, he knows with absolute certainty that nothing exists. The sage is free. His empty mind no longer projects delusion, dreaming, dullness. This state is indescribable. End of chapter 17. Ashtavakra Gita, chapter 18. Peace. Ashtavakra said, praise that which is bliss itself, which is by nature stillness and light, and which by its knowing reveals the world as a dream. One may enjoy the abundant pleasures of the world, but will never be happy until giving them up. How can one whose innermost heart has been scorched by the sun of sorrow that comes from duty be happy until the sweet rain of torrential stillness? The universe is but a thought in consciousness. In reality, it is nothing. One who sees the true nature of existence and non-existence never ceases to exist. The self, which is absolute, effortless, timeless, immaculate, is without limits, and at no distance from you. You are forever it. For those whose vision becomes unclouded, illusion evaporates, and the self becomes known. All sorrow is instantly dispelled. Seeing everything is imagination. Knowing the self as timelessly free, the sage lives as a child. Knowing himself as absolute, knowing existence and non-existence to be imagination only, what is there for the desireless one to learn, say, or do? Knowing for certain that all is self, the sage has no trace of thoughts, such as I am this or I am that. The yogi who finds stillness is neither distracted nor focused. He knows neither pleasure nor pain. Ignorance dispelled, he is free of knowing. Heaven or poverty, gain or loss, society or solitude, to the yogi free of conditioning there is no difference. Religious merit, sensory pleasure, worldly prosperity, discrimination between this and that, these have no significance to the yogi free of opposites such as I do this and this I do not. The yogi who is liberated while living has no duties in this world, no attachments in his heart. His life proceeds without him. For the great soul who abides beyond the desire, where is illusion? Where is the universe? Where is meditation on that? Where even is liberation from them? He who sees the world may try to renounce it, But what can the desireless one do? He sees there is nothing to see. He who has been the Supreme Brahma thinks, I am Brahma. But he who has transcended all thought, what can he think? He knows no other than self. He achieves self-control who sees his own distraction. But the great soul is not distracted. He has nothing to achieve. He has nothing to do. The man of knowledge may live as an ordinary man, but he is not. He sees he is neither focused nor distracted, and finds no fault with himself. He who is beyond existence and non-existence, who is wise, satisfied, free of desire, does nothing, though the world may see him in motion. The wise one is not troubled by action or inactivity. He lives happily, doing whatever gets done. Like a leaf in the wind, the liberated one is untethered from life, desireless, independent, free. For one who has transcended the world, there is no joy or sorrow. With a stilled mind, he lives on with no body. One who knows self, whose mind is serene and spotless, does not desire to give up anything, nor does he miss what is not there. His mind being in a natural state of emptiness, the wise one knows nothing of honor and dishonor. He does what comes to be done. One who acts knowing this is done by the body, nor by I, pure self, indeed does nothing, no matter how much acting takes place. The liberated one acts without claiming to be acting, but he is no fool. He is blessed and happy even though in the world. Having had enough of the endless workings of the mind, the wise one comes to rest. He neither thinks, nor knows, nor hears, nor sees. Beyond stillness, beyond distraction, the great soul thinks nothing of liberation or bondage. Having seen the universe is void, even though it seems to exist, he is God. He who believes he is a person is constantly acting, even when the body is at rest. The sage knows he is not a person and therefore does nothing, even when the body is in motion. The mind of the liberated one is neither troubled nor pleased. It is actionless, motionless, desireless, and free of doubt. The liberated one does not exert effort to meditate or act. Action and meditation just happen. Hearing ultimate truth, the dull-witted man is bewildered. The wise man, hearing truth, retreats within and appears dull-witted. The ignorant practice meditation and no thought. The wise, like men in deep sleep, do nothing. The ignorant man finds no peace either by effort or non-effort. The wise man by truth alone is stilled. Though they are by nature self alone, pure intelligence, love and perfection, though they transcend the universe and are clearness itself, men of the world will not see this through meditation and practices. The ignorant man will never be liberated by his repetitious practices. Blessed is he who by simple understanding enters timeless freedom. Because he desires to know God, the ignorant man can never become that. The wise man is God, because he is free of desire and knows nothing. Unable to stand steady and eager for salvation, the ignorant perpetuate the illusion of world. Seeing the world as the source of all misery, the wise cut it off at the root. The fool thinks peace comes by controlling the mind. He will never attain it. The wise one knows truth and is stillness itself. For he who thinks knowledge is things and ideas, how can there be self-knowledge? The wise do not see separate things, only the timeless self. The fool tries to control the mind with the mind. What folly! The wise one delights in self alone. There is no mind to master. Some believe in existence, others believe nothing exists. Rare is the one who believes nothing and is never confused. Weak intellectuals may believe the self is one without other, but being mired in illusion, they do not actually know self, so live out their lives in misery. The mind of one seeking liberation depends on things for perception. The mind of the liberated one perceives no thing and is free of desire. Timid men fear sensory experience much as they do tigers. They seek refuge in caves and try to unthink the world. Sensory experiences are like elephants who, upon encountering a desireless man, see him as a lion. They immediately turn on their heels, or if unable to escape, stay on to flatter and serve him. A man with no doubts, who knows only self, has no need of practice or liberation. Seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, he lives as he is, happily. One whose mind is emptied and unconflicted by the mere hearing of truth sees nothing to do, nothing to avoid, nothing to warrant his indifference. The sage does whatever appears to be done, without thinking of good or bad. His actions are those of a child. Depending on nothing, one finds happiness. Depending on nothing, one attains the supreme. Depending on nothing, one passes through tranquility to oneself. When one realizes he is neither the actor nor the one who watches, the mind's storm is stilled. The actions of the sage, free of pretense and motive, shine like clear light. Not so those of the deluded seeker who affects a peaceful demeanor while remaining firmly attached. Unbounded, unfettered, untethered from the projections of mind, the wise are free to play and enjoy, or retire to mountain caves. Whether honoring a spiritual scholar, a god, or holy shrine, whether seeing a desirable woman, a king, or beloved friend, the heart of the sage is unmoved. Though his servants, sons, wives, daughters, grandchildren, and all his relatives ridicule and despise him, the yogi is undismayed. Though pleased, he is not pleasured. Though pained, he does not suffer. This wonderful state is understood only by those like him. The belief in duty creates a relative world for its performance. The wise one knows himself to be formless, timeless, all-pervasive, immaculate, and thus transcends duty and world. Even doing nothing, the dull one is anxious and distracted. Even amidst great action, the wise one remains still. Even in practical life, the wise one remains happy. Happy to sit, happy to sleep, happy to move about, happy to speak, happy to eat. Because he knows self, the wise one is not disrupted by practical life. He is deep and still, like a vast lake. He is not like ordinary people. His sorrows have vanished. For the deluded one, even rest is an activity. For the wise, even action bears the fruit of stillness. The deluded one is often adverse to the things of his life. To one with no thought for body, attachment and aversion have no meaning. The deluded mind is caught up in thinking and not thinking. Though the mind of the wise one may think what thoughts come, he is not aware of it. The sage sees nothing being done, even when performed by his hands. Like a child, he is pure and acts without reason. Blessed indeed is he who knows self. Though seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, he never desires nor changes. For one who is void and changeless, where is the world and its imaginings? Where is the end? Where is the possibility of it? Glorious indeed is he who, free of desire, embodies bliss itself. He has become absorbed in self. In short, The great soul who has realized truth is free of desire, enjoyment, and liberation. In all of space and time, he is attached to nothing. What remains for one who is consciousness itself, who sees the non-existence of a phenomenal world created by the mere thought of a name? Peace is natural for one who knows for certain nothing exists, who sees appearances are illusion, to whom the inexpressible is apparent. Rules of conduct, detachment, renunciation, asceticism, what are these to one who sees the unreality of things? Who is the light of awareness? How can there be joy or sorrow, bondage or liberation for one who perceives non-existence and lights the infinite? Until self-realization, illusion prevails. The sage lives without thoughts of I or mine. His connection to illusion is severed. What is knowledge? What is the universe? What are thoughts like I am the body or the body is mind? The sage is imperishable and sorrowless. He is self alone. When a weak man gives up meditation, he falls prey to whims and desires. Even hearing truth, the man of dull intellect holds on to illusion. Through effort and separation, he may appear outwardly composed, but inside he craves the world. Though others may see him working, the sage does nothing. Knowledge has banished effort. He finds no reason to do or say. The sage is fearless, unassailable, no darkness, no light, nothing to lose, nothing. Patience, discrimination, even fearlessness, what use are these to the yogi? His nature cannot be described. He is not a person. No heaven, no hell, no liberation for the living. In short, consciousness is void. What more can be said? The sage neither yearns for fulfillment nor frets over non-attachment. His mind is cool and brimming with sweetness. Detached from desire, the sage neither praises peace nor blames the wicked. Equally content in happiness and misery, he would not change a thing. The sage neither rejects the world nor desires self. He is free of joy and sorrow. He does not live and cannot die. The wise one lives without hope. He has no attachment to his children, wife, or anyone. Pleasure means nothing to him. His life is glorious. The sage wanders about as he pleases and lives on whatever may come. Contentment ever dwells in his heart, and when the sun sets, he rests where he is. Rooted in being, no thought of being born or reborn. The great soul is indifferent to the death or birth of his body. The wise one stands alone, caring for nothing, bereft of possessions. He goes where he will, unhindered by opposites, his doubts rent asunder. He is truly blessed. The wise one has no sense of mine. To him, earth, stone, and gold are the same. The knots of his heart have unravelled. He knows neither ignorance nor sorrow. He is excellent in every way. The liberated soul has no desire in his heart. He is content and indifferent. He has no equal. Only one free of desire knows nothing of knowing, says nothing needs saying, sees nothing to see. He who is without desire excels, be he beggar or king. He no longer sees good or bad. What is lust or restraint or the desire for truth to the yogi who has reached life's goal and who embodies virtue and sincerity? The inner experience of one who is free of desire and suffering, who is content and reposes in self, how can it be described, and of whom? The wise one's state never varies. Sleeping soundly, he is not asleep. Lying in reverie, he is not dreaming. Eyes open, he is not wakeful. The man of knowledge seems to think, but he has no thoughts. He seems to have sense perceptions, but he does not experience. He seems to have intelligence, but he is empty-minded. He appears to be a person, but he is not. The man of knowledge is neither happy nor miserable, neither detached nor attached, neither liberated nor seeking liberation. He is neither this nor that. Even while distracted, the Blessed One is still. In meditation, he does not meditate. In ignorance, he remains clear. Though learned, he knows nothing. The liberated one who abides unconditionally in self, who is free of the concept of action and duty, who is always and everywhere the same, is desireless. He does not worry about what he did or did not do. The wise one is neither pleased by praise nor annoyed by blame. He neither rejoices in life nor fears death. One of tranquil mind seeks neither crowds nor wilderness. He is the same wherever he goes. End of chapter 18.